Moving abroad can be extremely exciting but stressful, especially if you have to find your own accommodation. So with me to offer some advice is Myrie from Citrus Relocation. Brian, great to have you with us today.
Pleasure.
So looking at expat destinations, where's popular today, would you say?
The main for UK travellers, expats, the English-speaking countries, the USA, Canada, Australia, New Zealand are very popular, purely because it's easy to assimilate when you get there.
Of course. So what would you say expats are looking for in a home?
I think they try to copy what they've got back in the UK. Sometimes that is a mistake. You have to be open-minded, and but I think as close as you can get to what you've got here, I think that was really helpful.
So for people who are looking to invest in abroad, do you think expat destinations are a good place to put your money, perhaps, and you could be a landlord for expats?
I think anything that gives you the opportunity of making money as a landlord is fine. Expats will buy property. They will also buy property and leave it behind. So normally they would stay about 4 years and then they would come back home. But sometimes they leave the property and rent it out when they're abroad.
Do they predominantly buy there, or do most expats rent initially?
They will rent it initially. It's what we recommend anyway, purely because of understanding the environment that you're going to be moving into.
Well, absolutely. But I imagine if they are renting, then perhaps they'd prefer to deal with a native landlord from where they come from, rather than, you know, go in the local where they don't really understand the regulations, that kind of thing.
I think if they're renting, that's really the opportunity where they really need to be looking at a relocation consultant that's locally based, to actually give them the sort of the understanding of what's going on the ground. I think just jumping in and hoping for the best is not really the thing to do, especially when you're dragging your family around the world with you.
Absolutely. So what sort of pitfalls are there, or places people should avoid? I know you spoke about English-speaking countries, but obviously a lot of people are heading to Asia and that kind of place. Is there anywhere they should be wary of?
I don't really like to demean any other countries in the world.
But I mean, when it comes to maybe buying homes in those areas, some places you should probably just rent, not really think of buying.
I think there's areas in the Middle East, and I'm saying that in a broad term. There are specific areas. Saudi Arabia might be a bit difficult, and also Kuwait it may be a bit difficult. But I think that's purely because of the culture and an understanding of who the environment that you're going to be in. So
say an expat has moved to a place, they've bought a property and they want to then leave. You know, how easy is it to sell on, or indeed to rent out that property moving forwards? Again,
you can ask for the advice for your local relocation consultant, or the relocation consultant you use back in the UK to actually make the move, and they'll give you advice depending upon which country that you're in.
So compared though to renting or buying in the UK, is it a lot of extra paperwork, do you think, or is it a similar process?
It's a different process. It's a different process. It's a process that demands probably a bit more concentration because you don't understand all the paperwork. So sometimes you have to get the paperwork translated, that type of thing. And it's that sometimes can cause the difficulty. Because if you miss the little line at the end, that could cause you a problem later.
So what advice do you have for expats who are looking to move abroad now?
I think if expats looking to move abroad should always get expert advice, because it's not just moving home, it's actually the tax situations, the pensions, it's actually making sure that your family are going to fit in when you get there, and utilising a relocation consultant gives you a standing start, as a running start, should I say, as opposed to a standing start.
So like most things, do your homework and get advice.
Exactly.
Brian, thank you so much. That's Brian Myrie there talking about what you should do if you're thinking of relocating as an expat and what to watch out for.